My best friend Emily has collected sugar daddies like Pokemon cards since college, but when my mom died, she set her sights on my 73-year-old dad with Parkinson's. She moved in, started wearing mom's jewelry, got engaged to him, even though he doesn't remember proposing, and turned my entire family against me. But she doesn't know the trust I set up makes the house worthless, and I've been documenting everything while she plans a wedding. She's paying for herself. My 28 female best friend Emily, 29 female, has always been what my grandma would call a piece of work. Since college, she's collected sugar daddies like Pokemon cards, gotta catch 'em all, preferably with retirement accounts. I'd watch her flip through dating apps, swiping left on anyone under 50 like they had the plague. Security, she'd say, batting her lashes. I just want security. Sure, and I just eat ice cream for the calcium. When my mom passed last year, miss you every day, mom, I was a wreck. Picture a human disaster smoothie. Grief, anger, and ugly crying blended on high. Emily showed up with tissues and wine, holding me while I sobbed into her designer blouse. Classic best friend stuff, right? Wrong, deader than my trust in her, which I'm about to explain. Mom always said Emily was trouble. That girl would sell her soul for a Chanel bag. Mom, you were right about everything. See, mom never updated her will. Everything went to dad, the man who once drove 6 hours to bring me soup during finals, but that was years ago. Now he has early stage Parkinson's, good days and bad days. I'd vented to Emily about the paperwork nightmare. Big mistake. Huge. It was like showing a shark where you keep the chum bucket. It's been 8 months since mom passed, and Emily's transformation happened gradually. First, she started dropping by with dad's favorite soup. Then she volunteered to organize his medications. Then suddenly his Vietnam stories were fascinating. The girl went from thinking Saigon was a noodle brand to memorizing every detail about his unit's rescue mission in 71. I should have seen the red flags. They were bigger than the ones at a communist parade. I should have kicked her out when the jewelry incident happened. I came home early to find Emily draped in mom's pearls like she was auditioning for breakfast at Tiffany's. She claimed dad said she could have them. The audacity was so thick you could spread it on toast. When I confronted her, she turned on the waterworks. Dad defended her. My own father betrayed me. But wait, there's more. I sound like an infomercial, but trust me, this deal gets worse. I went to pay dad's phone bill and noticed his text usage had skyrocketed. Curiosity called the cat, but I peeked. What I found made me wish I'd minded my own business. Emily was texting him constantly. Things like, can't stop thinking about our future together. When dad would respond asking who she was. Another gem. Remember when you said I reminded you of Elizabeth Taylor? You're such a charmer. Dad never said that. Mom looked like Elizabeth Taylor. Emily looks like Taylor Swift if you ordered her from Wish. The texts got progressively more aggressive. She was pursuing my confused, vulnerable father like a heat-seeking missile locked on a target. I screenshot everything while trying not to throw up in my mouth. That's when I decided revenge is a dish best served colder than Emily's heart. See, I know Emily's playbook better than anybody. I was her wing woman more times than I can count back when it was older men that could still play golf, unlike my dad. But something she always did was keep backup options. I did some digging and discovered this time it was Mr. Henderson, Tesla owner, golf club membership, and Mr. Williams, beach house pension fund. She never commits until the money's guaranteed. Girl runs her love life like a diversified portfolio. Her fatal flaw? Overconfidence. She thinks she's always the smartest person in the room, so I gave her exactly what she wanted, but with a twist worthy of M. Night Shyamalan. First, I announced I was moving out, citing stress. Emily's eyes lit up like Christmas came early. I reluctantly suggested she move in temporarily. She agreed faster than a cheetah on Red Bull. Meanwhile, during Dad's good days, I worked with his concerned lawyer to set up a trust. Emily saw the meetings and practically salivated. What she didn't know? The trust only contained the house, and it was structured so she couldn't touch it even if she married him. Dad's retirement account already had my name on it, something mom arranged years ago. Phase 2. I orchestrated accidental meetings between her other prospects at the country club. Watching Mr. Henderson and Mr. Williams compare notes about their exclusive girlfriend was better than Netflix. When they confronted Emily, she dumped them both, saying she already had someone better locked in. She went all in on Dad, moving in with enough luggage to stock a Samsonite store. The performance deserved an Oscar. Suddenly, she cared about his medication schedule and remembered every war buddy's name. Then, last week, it happened. Dad called me, confused but oddly formal, saying Emily told him they were engaged. He didn't remember proposing, but she had a ring, so he figured it must have happened. She said yes to herself. She's planning a wedding. She's posting on Facebook about finding true love and how age is just a number. The trap is set. The cheese is on the mousetrap, and this mouse thinks she's about to feast. Should I tell her the trust is basically worthless? That I've been documenting everything for a potential elder abuse case? That her sugar daddy portfolio just crashed harder than the stock market in '08? Nah. I'll wait until after she pays for the wedding. I watched from my car as Emily posted wedding venue photos while simultaneously shredding old bank statements in Dad's kitchen garbage disposal. Her paranoia was showing through the way she kept glancing over her shoulder between each handful of papers. The grinding noise echoed through the open window as she destroyed evidence of Dad's financial history. At the grocery store later, we met in the vitamins aisle where Emily loudly performed her caring fiancé act. She blocked me from reaching Dad's Parkinson's medication while gushing to another shopper about how devoted she was to her future husband. Her hand trembled exactly like Dad's as she reached for the wrong supplements. My frustration boiled over at the pharmacy counter. The words came out as a shriek before I could stop them. The pharmacist saw only a bitter daughter opposing her father's happiness, not the truth behind my desperation. Emily stood there with tears in her eyes, playing the victim perfectly. Aunt Martha needed someone to drive her to chemotherapy the next morning. Emily volunteered first, knowing I couldn't refuse to share the duty. She scheduled herself for the morning slots, forcing me to rearrange my work schedule for afternoons. Every interaction became a calculated move in her game. The following week presented an impossible choice. I could either follow Emily to the wedding venue or take Dad to his neurology appointment. Emily absently rubbed her ring finger where Mom's ring should have been, a gesture that made my stomach turn. I chose Dad, knowing it gave Emily 4 hours to establish herself as the devoted fiancé at the senior center's craft fair. Dad's medication needed adjusting after the appointment. The car needed inspection before noon. Emily texted about meeting with a wedding photographer, all before 2 p.m. The day spiraled into chaos as I juggled responsibilities while she played house with my father's life. Fixing the car situation situation accidentally helped Emily. It freed up Dad's Mercedes for her to drive around town. She kept my oil change receipt, later using it as evidence of my supposed financial control over Dad. Every helpful act became ammunition against me. Emily had a genuine panic attack at the bank when she couldn't access Dad's main account. She sobbed about just trying to pay for his prescriptions, drawing sympathy from everyone in line. The performance was so convincing that even I almost believed her distress was real. My 16-year-old cousin started defending Emily after she bought him the gaming console I had said no to. He posted on social media about how cool his future aunt was, how I was just jealous of Dad's happiness. Family members began choosing sides without knowing the full story. The old photo album from Dad's house was visible in Emily's tote bag at the coffee shop. I could see Mom's handwriting on photo labels through the canvas, but grabbing it would require assault or theft. My hands shook as I watched her casually sip her latte with my family's memories at her feet. The neighbor caught me taking photos of Emily's car at Dad's house. She reported the stalking to Emily, who immediately screenshot the Ring doorbell footage. Within hours, the video circulated through our family group chat with Emily's concerned commentary about my obsessive behavior. Dad's longtime barber needed Emily's signature as emergency contact for his VA benefits paperwork. She had become the only one who knew Dad's service details after inserting herself into every appointment. The barber thanked her profusely while I stood outside, locked out of another piece of Dad's life. Aunt Martha pulled me aside at a family dinner. Her words stung more than any accusation. She remembered my previous paranoia about Grandpa's missing will, reminding me that not everyone was out to get me. The comparison felt like a knife twisting in my chest. The family group chat became a minefield when Emily shared her concern about my harassment. She included the Ring footage and the pharmacy witness account, painting a picture of an unhinged daughter. Relatives I'd known my whole life began questioning my mental state. 3 different family friends mentioned my obsessive behavior after Emily's carefully planted seeds of concern at book club. She had been attending Mom's book club, sitting in her chair, winning over her friends with tales of devoted caregiving and subtle hints about my instability. Emily now controlled Dad's Netflix, Amazon, and grocery delivery accounts. I wonder why Emily needs to destroy those old bank statements in the garbage disposal. Seems like she's hiding something specific about Dad's finances that she doesn't want anyone to see right now. These seemed like small victories, but they were essential when Dad couldn't drive on bad days. Mom's profile remained active on Netflix. Her last watched show paused mid-episode, a ghost in the machine Emily hadn't noticed yet. My 3rd sleepless night led to disaster. I ran a red light in front of the same cop who had responded to the stalking complaint. He recognized me immediately, adding reckless driving to my growing reputation as the problem daughter. The ticket felt like another nail in my credibility's coffin. My best friend since childhood came to my apartment with tears in her eyes. Her husband had given her an ultimatum about our friendship. She believed Emily was taking advantage of Dad, but she couldn't lose her marriage over my family drama. I watched 20 years of friendship walk out my door. The local mom's Facebook group became my newest nightmare. Someone had started a discussion about the unhinged daughter trying to break up her elderly father's engagement. 47 comments, all sympathizing with Emily, all from women who had known me since I was in diapers. My reputation crumbled in real time. Emily claimed she attended Dad's doctor appointment that I had missed due to car trouble. Security footage confirmed her car in the lot at that time, though she had actually been at the Starbucks next door. The lie was perfect, backed by just enough truth to be believed. My coworker admitted she needed Emily's connection at the wedding venue for her daughter's quinceañera. She apologized for not being able to support me publicly, but business was business. Another ally lost to Emily's growing web of influence. Proving Emily lied about her nursing background required cyber-stalking her LinkedIn and contacting former employers. Being right only made me look more unstable when Emily's lawyer sent a cease and desist letter about my harassment. Every victory became a defeat. My celebration wine after the trust documents were finalized was photographed by Emily's friend and posted as evidence of my drinking problem. The single glass of Pinot Grigio became proof of why I couldn't be trusted with Dad's care. The narrative wrote itself in the comment section. Both of us finally acknowledged what this had become. Emily texted about Dad deserving happiness while I responded about Mom deserving the same. We were locked in mutual destruction, 2 women willing to burn everything down rather than lose. The war had only just begun. Emily started dating my ex-boyfriend from high school, showing up at family gatherings quoting Mom's favorite Cary Grant movies. She wore a vintage dress identical to one Mom had worn in old photos, her hair styled the same way. The performance was calculated to perfection, designed to show everyone she was filling the void Mom left behind. Dad told his lawyer that I had threatened Emily during our last confrontation. I insisted I'd only warned that she wouldn't get away with this manipulation. Both of us believed our version completely. The lawyer documented both accounts, creating a paper trail that made me look increasingly unstable. My own texts to friends during Mom's illness became weapons against me. Messages calling Dad stubborn and impossible during those exhausting months were now twisted into evidence of an elder abuse pattern. Emily had somehow obtained screenshots, presenting them as proof I'd wanted control even when Mom was dying. The 8-year-old neighbor boy started repeating things Emily had told him. He approached me at the mailbox, innocently mentioning that Miss Emily said I made Grandpa cry by taking his car keys. The child's confused expression showed he didn't understand why this nice lady was telling him these stories. Ring doorbell footage became Emily's favorite weapon. The camera captured my frustrated rant to myself about Dad's stubbornness after a particularly difficult day. Emily edited the footage to remove context, making my exhausted venting seem threatening. She distributed it to concerned family members as evidence of my anger issues. The family therapist treating Dad for his grief suggested my financial concerns might be projection. During a session I'd been excluded from, Emily had painted herself as the stabilizing force in Dad's life. The therapist recommended including Emily in all future sessions, effectively shutting me out of Dad's mental health care. I used Dad's predictable password, their anniversary date, to lock Emily out of the family photo cloud before she could delete precious memories. The last search in the account showed someone had been looking up information about helping a husband with Parkinson's. Mom had been researching how to care for Dad even before telling us about his diagnosis. Emily's Instagram stories about wedding planning stress contained coded messages about my behavior. She posted posted about dealing with family drama and toxic people trying to ruin her happiness. Mutual acquaintances commented with support, not knowing they were taking sides in our war. My therapist refused to break confidentiality when Emily's lawyer attempted to subpoena my therapy records. Emily used the subpoena filing itself as evidence of my escalating legal harassment. The mere attempt to defend myself became proof of my instability in her narrative. I attempted to record Emily's confession by hiding my phone during a confrontation at Dad's house. Emily spotted the device and immediately switched into concerned fiancé mode, worrying aloud about my paranoia. She smiled while calling 911 to report harassment, knowing exactly how the scene would look to responding officers. Dad's adult daycare pickup deadline meant Emily controlled who got him on bad days. She used this leverage to force family counseling sessions where she could continue her performance. Missing the pickup time due to work meant Dad spent extra hours in Emily's care, time she used to solidify her influence. Dad's neurologist refused to testify about cognitive capacity after the hospital's legal department cited liability concerns. The doctor admitted privately that Dad showed signs of manipulation, but wouldn't risk his practice for what the hospital deemed a family dispute. Another professional ally lost to bureaucratic fear. I discovered Emily wearing Mom's Christmas sweater while redecorating Dad's house with what she called their vision for the future. The smell of Mom's perfume still lingered on the wool, a sensory assault that left me breathless. Emily had found Mom's stored holiday decorations and was systematically replacing our family traditions with her own. Emily offered to include me in wedding planning and let me give Dad away if I dropped the trust contestation she didn't know was fake. The offer came wrapped in false concern about family unity. She presented it in front of relatives, ensuring my refusal would seem petty and vindictive. My refusal was immediately framed on Facebook as a daughter refusing to support her father's happiness even when invited to participate. Emily's post garnered dozens of sympathetic comments from people who didn't know the full story. Each comment felt like another betrayal from our community. I discovered Emily had been researching challenging irrevocable trusts and spousal elective share laws online. Her search history showed desperation, hours spent on legal forums trying to find loopholes. The trust remained solid, but her determination to crack it revealed her true motivations. Both of us raced to the storage unit where Mom kept important papers, arriving simultaneously at 10 p.m. The confrontation in the dimly lit corridor felt like a scene from a thriller. We stood facing each other, neither willing to back down, both knowing whoever reached the unit first would control crucial evidence. The evidence I found of Emily's gold digging turned out to be Mom's notes about helping Emily leave an abusive relationship years ago. The papers showed Mom had given Emily money for a security deposit and helped her find a job. This revelation complicated my narrative of Emily as purely predatory. My brother flew in from Seattle, forced to choose between supporting my truth and maintaining peace during Dad's decline. He sat in my apartment, exhausted from the flight, listening to my evidence. His face showed the weight of being pulled between family loyalty and conflict avoidance. Brother chose a neutral stance to avoid being dragged into potential legal proceedings. His refusal to testify about Mom's concerns about Emily left me without a crucial witness. He hugged me before leaving, whispering apologies about not being able to handle more family warfare. I started using Emily's manipulation tactics against her. I befriended her hairdresser, casually extracting information during my own appointments. I commented on her ex-boyfriend's social media posts, subtly reminding them of her patterns. The transformation into someone I didn't recognize accelerated daily. Running into Emily's wedding planner at yoga class wasn't accidental. I'd learned her schedule and positioned myself perfectly. While discussing my own fake engagement, I pumped her for information about Emily's plans. The lies about my fictional fiancé flowed easily, each detail crafted to keep the conversation going. Access to the shared Google Calendar revealed Emily had scheduled Dad for a cognitive evaluation with a doctor known for quick incompetency rulings. The appointment was buried between grocery shopping and a dental cleaning, easy to miss if I hadn't been checking obsessively. I immediately scheduled a conflicting appointment with Dad's regular physician. Mom's estranged sister Catherine emerged from years of silence, claiming Mom had promised her the jewelry collection. Her arrival added chaos to an already combustible situation. Catherine allied herself with Emily, seeing an opportunity to finally get what she believed she deserved. Fighting both Emily and Catherine caused me to miss Dad's fall at home. Emily's wedding planner at yoga class? Our narrator's turning into a spy movie character minus the cool gadgets and plus the stretchy pants. Nothing says I'm totally fine like scheduling fake appointments to block real ones while pumping people for information during Downward Dog. He'd tried to reach something on a high shelf and lost his balance. Emily posted about being there for him, complete with photos of her comforting him in the emergency room. My absence due to confronting Catherine made me look neglectful to everyone watching our family drama unfold. My credit cards maxed out from lawyer fees while Emily used Dad's American Express for wedding expenses. She'd convinced him to add her as an authorized user, claiming she needed it for household expenses. Every charge was carefully categorized as something that could be justified as Dad's care. A public confrontation at Mom's favorite Italian restaurant traumatized the elderly owner who had considered us family. Emily and I faced off over Dad's favorite table, our raised voices disrupting the entire dining room. The owner, who'd known us since we were children, begged us to take our fight elsewhere. I lost my marketing job after Emily's cease and desist letter arrived at my office about online defamation. My boss called me in, explaining that the company couldn't have legal drama affecting client relationships. The termination came with 2 weeks severance and a suggestion to seek help for my obvious stress. Sleeping on a friend's couch became my new reality while Emily redecorated my childhood bedroom as a crafting space. She posted progress photos on social media, showing how she was bringing new life to the house. Each image of my personal space being erased felt like another piece of my identity disappearing. My uncle Robert begged me to let Mom rest in peace and allow Dad to be happy. His words during a tearful phone call cut deep. He reminded me that this vendetta was calling what remained of our family. The weight of destroying family bonds pressed down on me, but stopping felt like betraying Mom. My investigation into Emily's past caused her innocent former roommate to be evicted. The landlord learned about the association with an elderly elder abuse investigation and didn't want the controversy. The roommate's toddler lost the only stable home she'd known because of my relentless digging. The former roommate's relationship crumbled under the financial strain of sudden moving costs and legal questions from my investigation. I watched from across the coffee shop as she argued with her partner about the eviction. The destruction I'd caused to prove Emily's pattern spread like ripples in a pond. I continued digging despite knowing innocent people were suffering. Each piece of evidence about Emily's past came with collateral damage. Former employers questioned, ex-boyfriends contacted, family members of previous targets disturbed. I justified it as protecting future victims while ignoring the current ones I was creating. Dad's oldest friend asked me directly what would happen if Emily really loved him. The question during our chance encounter at the hardware store caught me off guard. I stood there, unable to immediately answer, forced to confront the possibility that Emily's feelings might be genuine, mixed with her opportunism. I publicly admitted to therapy and antidepressants on Facebook to counter Emily's mental instability narrative. The post detailed my grief journey and the normal process of seeking help after loss. The vulnerability felt like stripping naked in public, but it was necessary to reclaim some control over my image. Medical receipts found in Mom's sewing kit revealed Dad's Parkinson's diagnosis came earlier than he'd admitted. The dates showed he'd hidden his illness from us for over a year. This discovery explained his vulnerability and Emily's perfect timing in swooping in after Mom's death. Emily's lawyer filed an emergency motion to move the wedding date up, citing my harassment escalating further. The filing came while my lawyer was in Bermuda for his daughter's wedding. The timing wasn't coincidental. Emily had learned his schedule through careful questioning at the country club. Emily's pattern finally emerged clearly. She targeted vulnerable widowers, but this time something was different. Her attachment to Dad went beyond financial opportunity. She'd genuinely grown fond of his kindness after years of transactional relationships. The mixture of authentic emotion and calculated manipulation made her more dangerous. The complexity of Emily's feelings became apparent in small moments. She genuinely laughed at Dad's jokes, carefully tended his garden, and showed real concern during his bad days. Yet she still methodically worked to isolate him from family and control his assets. Love and greed intertwined in ways that defied simple categorization. I had to become cold and calculating to match Emily's tactics. Everything Mom raised me to be, kind, empathetic, trusting, had to die. The transformation felt like shedding skin, painful, but necessary. Each manipulation I planned took me further from the daughter Mom would recognize. The empathetic daughter who used to rescue spiders and cry at commercials disappeared. In her place stood someone who could lie without flinching and manipulate without guilt. The mirror showed my face, but the eyes belonged to a stranger who'd learned to fight dirty. I befriended Emily's teenage nephew at a family barbecue, carefully extracting information while playing cornhole. He innocently revealed that Emily had been telling her family she was finally getting the mother she never had. The comment explained so much about Emily's desperate attachment to my family's warmth. A small victory in proving Emily lied about attending a specific event felt hollow when I saw her genuinely sobbing at Mom's grave. I'd followed her there, expecting to catch her in something nefarious. Instead, I found both of us crying for the same lost mother figure. Emily for the mother she'd never had, me for the one I'd lost. Emily's counterclaim that I had financially abused my parents gained traction with an adult protective services investigator. She'd compiled evidence of my involvement in their finances, twisting normal family help into something sinister. The investigation added another layer of official scrutiny to my actions. Everything hinged on Dad's testimony at the competency hearing scheduled for next month. Would it fall on a good day when his mind was clear, or a bad day when confusion reigned? The uncertainty gnawed at me as I prepared evidence that might never be heard if Dad couldn't testify coherently. My past kindness to Emily's mother during her cancer treatment became leverage against me. Emily's mother called, asking why I was hurting her daughter when I'd been so helpful during her illness. The emotional manipulation was masterful, using my own compassion as a weapon. Dad's former colleagues split into two camps. Some recognized Emily's manipulation, having seen similar situations before. Others saw only a devoted fiancé caring for a declining man. The division created tension at the Veterans Hall where Dad had socialized for decades. I discovered Emily's conservatorship attempt would fail since the trust predated any relationship. My lawyer confirmed the trust protection was bulletproof against post-relationship claims. This knowledge gave me leverage, but Emily didn't know her legal maneuvering was doomed from the start. I called in Mom's favor from her law school roommate, now practicing elder law in the next county. She remembered Mom fondly and agreed to review the case. Her analysis confirmed what I'd suspected. Emily's legal position was weaker than she realized. The elder law attorney provided strategy, but couldn't formally represent me due to a conflict with Emily's attorney's firm. They'd worked together on previous cases, creating an ethical barrier. Still, her informal advice proved invaluable in understanding the legal landscape. The strategy session revealed Emily had tried to get close to our family before. She'd attempted to befriend Mom at various social events, but Mom had gently rebuffed her advances. Mom's polite distance had protected us then. Now I understood why she'd maintained those boundaries. Mom's old emails showed she felt guilty about keeping Emily at arm's length, but worried about her instability. The inbox revealed Mom had been trying to help Emily find therapy resources, forwarding articles about attachment disorders and healthy relationships. Each message showed Mom's struggle between compassion and protecting our family. The final evidence came from Mom's safety deposit box with the second key she'd given me years ago. Inside were documents detailing Dad's early Parkinson symptoms, medical reports, and Mom's handwritten fears about his vulnerability after her death. She'd even drafted a letter to me about watching for predatory behavior toward Dad. Reading Mom's documentation made everything clear. She'd known this could happen and prepared for it. The trust, the joint accounts, even the safety deposit box arrangement had all been deliberate protective measures. Mom had chosen protection through preparation rather than confrontation. I committed to following Mom's plan. She'd left me the tools to protect Dad while documenting everything for authorities. The evidence binder grew thicker each day as I photographed texts, recorded dates, and preserved Emily's contradictory statements about her intentions. Emily's overconfidence finally created the opening I needed. At a family dinner, she bragged about wedding costs to relatives, revealing her assumptions about Dad's wealth. My phone recorded from my pocket as she detailed honeymoon plans that would cost more than Dad's annual income, exposing her miscalculation about his finances. I presented the recording to Emily privately the next morning. No gloating, no threats, just playing the audio while watching her face change. The moment she realized the trust meant no money access was visible in her suddenly pale complexion. Her hands shook as the recording continued. Legal momentum shifted as Emily's pattern became undeniable to family members. Something's off about Emily crying at mom's grave. What kind of game involves real tears over someone who kept you at arm's length? The narrator finding those documents in the safety deposit box feels awfully convenient timing. The recording circulated among relatives who defended her, each listening to her calculate Dad's non-existent wealth. Support for Emily crumbled as her true motivations became impossible to ignore. Both of us prepared for the planned intervention, not a courtroom battle. Family members organized a meeting at Aunt Martha's house, neutral territory where everyone could witness the truth. The date was set, the participants notified, and the evidence organized. The intervention seating revealed unexpected alliances. Emily's mother sat next to me, having driven 3 hours after learning about her daughter's behavior. Former supporters of Emily positioned themselves near the door, ready to leave if needed. The room's tension was thick enough to cut. Both women showed our exhaustion clearly. Emily's perfect makeup had cracked, revealing dark circles and stress lines. My hands shook from months of fighting, barely able to hold the evidence folders steady. We looked like survivors of a war neither of us had truly won. Truth emerged through calm presentation of documents, texts, and timeline. I laid out each piece of evidence methodically, letting facts speak without accusation. Bank records, text messages, medical documents, and recordings painted an undeniable picture of financial exploitation mixed with genuine emotional need. Dad's doctor broke his silence about Emily asking about inheritance during appointments. He'd been documenting her questions about Dad's assets, life insurance, and estate planning. His testimony, delivered without emotion, confirmed the pattern of financial interest overshadowing care. The family voted for professional conservatorship and mandatory counseling for all parties. The decision wasn't about punishment but protection and healing. Dad would have professional oversight while Emily and I would both undergo therapy to address our destructive patterns. Bank officials confirmed Emily had attempted multiple unauthorized access attempts using Dad's information. The fraud prevention team had documented each attempt, creating a paper trail of financial exploitation attempts. The evidence proved systematic efforts to access accounts she had no right to touch. Evidence proved exploitation, but also revealed Emily's genuine mental health crisis. Her desperate need for security and family had twisted into predatory behavior. The grief of never having stable parents had made her target someone else's father. Both victim and perpetrator, she'd become trapped in her own damaged patterns. Emily's breakdown during the intervention revealed the depths of her confusion. She truly believed Dad could be the father figure she'd never had, mixing exploitation with genuine need for parental love. Tears streamed as she described growing up without stability, always searching for the security our family represented. I was offered the chance to press charges or pursue treatment-focused resolution. The prosecutor explained both options clearly. Criminal charges would mean prison time for Emily, but wouldn't help Dad heal. Treatment-focused resolution meant mandatory therapy, restitution, and supervised boundaries. I chose mandatory therapy and financial restitution over prosecution. Mom would have wanted healing, not just punishment. Emily would undergo intensive therapy while making restitution for the money she'd spent. Dad would receive professional care while our family attempted to rebuild. Dad was placed under professional conservatorship with family input. A court-appointed guardian would manage his finances and medical decisions, with family members able to provide input but not control. The arrangement protected Dad while preventing future exploitation by anyone. Emily was banned from contact pending therapy completion. A restraining order protected Dad, but included provisions for review after Emily completed her treatment program. The door wasn't permanently closed, but it wouldn't open without professional verification of change. The community divided between those who saw manipulation and those who had enabled it. The church split over supporting Emily versus supporting our family. Some friendships ended permanently, while others emerged stronger. The social fabric of our small town bore the scars of our conflict. I rebuilt slowly while attending my own therapy sessions. Some relationships were severed beyond repair, but others strengthened through the crisis. Weekly dinners with Dad on his good days became precious moments of connection. We played cards, watched old movies, and avoided talking about the war we'd survived. The restraining order included provisions for Emily's therapy completion review. After 18 months of treatment, she could petition for supervised contact. The possibility of eventual reconciliation existed, but only after genuine change and professional oversight. 6 months later, I managed Dad's care professionally while Emily completed treatment. Both of us had been forever changed by grief that made us enemies when we should have been allies. We were learning, slowly and painfully, to honor Mom's memory by finding compassion for each other's pain while maintaining necessary boundaries. Dad's good days were fewer now, but they were peaceful, protected by the systems Mom had wisely put in place. Well, that escalated quickly. Plot twists, family chaos. Honestly, I couldn't look away if I tried. What a mess. Loved every second.